get burned.
Yep, I certainly will be. Welcome to the latest in line of my Amiibo Pantheon, the Pyra and Mythra Amiibo. Now trust me, I'm not exactly best pleased about doing this one, but, you know, they're the most recent one. It makes sense that I do this. And, who knows what might come of it, especially with what I've got planned for it. The naming scheme is, of course, based on this edit that I did a while back of what Pyra and Mythra really are like, but we're only really going to be encapsulating part of that today, for reasons I'll go into in just a moment. The simple fact of the matter is that today I'm going to be feeding these two gremlins 3 shine sprites. So that way their special move power is blasted way, way up. I've got plenty of these to spare, it's fine. Now we need something to get things together. Normal? Yeah, I think that'll work. Show off? Nah. Cautious. There we go, that's more like it. I'll give it one of these. I guess this, maybe? Sure, let's do that. Still not enough. Okay, what about this? Will that do the trick? Okay, this looks like a good template to start from. Now, the thing is, this is not going to be done with commentary as I've done in the past, because the way I've got it set up, as you could probably guess, I'm going to be using only special moves. It's not going to be very exciting, it's not going to be worth my usual commentary shenanigans, so that's not what I'm going to do. So what's actually going to happen is that I'm going to be handing things off to present-day editing Matt, and he is going to provide a series of updates on projects and happenings and all that cool stuff. And also answer some of the questions that were brought up during the Bayonetta comments section. The comment section on the Bayonetta video, that is. So, yeah. That's the itinerary for today. So without further ado, I'm gonna hand things off to editing Matt, and we'll see how things go. Greetings, everybody. This is present-day editing Matt. Yeah, I'm just kind of here, really. But yeah, I'm basically here because I'm not going to be commentating over this Pyra training video. I know some of you might be thinking, like, why would you do this? You commentated over every other one. Well, this one's gonna be boring. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. It's going to be boring. I only plan to do special moves as these two gremlins, and that's not terribly exciting. Like, even the Steven Kazuya amiibo, as much as I despise Steven Kazuya in this game, they at least had something about them that made them fun to train and watch. You know, with Steve being my most watched video by far, and Kazuya rising up the ranks, breaking that 1K mark recently. So, you know, they had pedigree in that regard, whereas Pyra is not going to have that pedigree. So, I figured, instead of commentating over this mashing of the B button and just seeing what happens, I figured that I'd do things post-commentary and, you know, provide some updates and answer the questions that you left on the Bayonetta video. And hopefully by the end of it we'll have a whole bunch of updates, that way you'll be all in the loop of what I plan to do, for the most part at least. You know, I've got my mug of tea on standby, my flask of water, and I'm gonna go through everything that is going on and will go on for the remaining few months of the year. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some behind-the-scenes stuff, and there's a removal that I'll need to talk about. For the most part, I'm going to be discontinuing my activity on Twitter, or X, or whatever the hell it's supposed to be called at this point, Musk Zone, or whatever. Yeah, that's not really becoming enjoyable. I find it a bit of a detriment, to be honest, because it's becoming really inconvenient as of late. It's just becoming a bit of a liability, and I figured, nah, I'm good. So I'm going to be discontinuing my Twitter activity for the most part. I'll also be shutting down the Matt community on Twitter because that wasn't terribly big to begin with. It wasn't terribly used, so nothing terribly lost there. You might be wondering what's going to be replacing it, but I'll get to that in just a bit. In terms of new socials, I've brought myself onto Tumblr and Mastodon under the ItsTheMattC moniker. You know, so if you have those socials, you can go ahead and follow me on there. I'll try my best to get to posting to those from this point onwards. I'll probably get more socials, you know, as time goes on. I tried getting Blue Sky, it didn't work. So, you know, I'll provide those updates as and when they occur, but for now, you can find me on Tumblr now, you can find me on Mastodon, ItsTheMattC. Go ahead and follow me and I'll post stuff when I can. One of the major updates we've got now, though, is we have a Matt Community Discord server. We've got that set up. I'll provide an invite link below. That's going to be the main hub for updates and chatter and events and all the like. I know I received a couple of questions on whether we'll be doing anything with viewers. You know, like Smash Arenas with Amiibo and all that sort of jazz. Assume that's going to happen eventually. I'd prefer that we get a decent following in said Discord server before that, though. But that's the itinerary for that. We've got a fair amount of it set up. It's probably going to be more fleshed out as time goes on. But for the most part, assume that that's how it's going to be. And when events come, we'll tell you about it. So, yeah, I think that's all the behind-the-scenes stuff I need to, bring out as far as this channel's concerned. So, we're gonna move on now to the projects I have in the pipeline, because I know you all like to know what I've got coming up. And, you know, I think I might as well share what I plan to do, for the most part, going forward. So, the first of the things I'd like to bring up is the next part of the World of Light full Nuzlocke that I've been doing. You know, that's been going well on the third run. I do have the next part in the works. I haven't properly started on it. I've gotten about as much as the first 30 seconds. But there's no music in that, no special effects, nothing like that. But that's going to be worked on soon enough, at least. I have a Dead Estate video, you know, just sitting in my folder ready to go, so expect to see that within the next couple of weeks. I'll be doing some runs as Cordelia, trying to get the completion as her. And, that was pretty interesting, as much as I got cucked several times. A few interesting things occurred there, so, you know, it's worth a watch. What else is there? Oh yeah, I have some Team Fortress 2 videos in the pipeline. I know there's a bit of discourse over how TF2 is being handled, but there's been a recent summer update, and I covered that in a video. And I have that sitting in the pipeline. That's going to be coming within the next few weeks as well. So, look forward to that. I'll be using that first video as a gauge of how popular TF2 will be on the channel, because I do have some MVM stuff in the pipeline as well. We've got a community MVM one with Badwater as the map, as a Wave 666 kind of deal, and a couple of Man Up tours. And, you know, we'll see how they we'll see how they're received, but we'll take it one step at a time as far as those are concerned. So, there's also the Mario Party 2 backlog. You know, there's Mystery Land, there's Horror Land, and there's Bowser Land all still to go. As much as I don't think Western Land's ending is going to be ever topped, like, at all, between then and now, we do have a fair few interesting things that occur in the last 3 of the Mario Party 2 boards. Mystery Land, Horror Land, and Bowser Land in that order. Those are gonna be a bit more spaced out, but all of them should be out by the end of the year at the very least. So, you know, look forward to those as and when they come along. No idea when they're gonna be dropping, but we'll see. Quick Play Checklist 4 is also going to be a thing. You know, that I've got the footage and the recording, dialogue, commentary stuff all ready to go. That one was a wild ride, let me tell you. It was kind of similar to the first Quick Play Checklist with Donkey Kong, where I got a lot of stuff early on and then just couldn't get the last ones I needed. But it was a fun ride. I enjoyed myself for the most part. And, you know, I think that one's going to be enjoyable, so look forward to that. Alright, I'm going to need to get a drink. Oh, okay. Moving on to Payday 2. That's been a bit more prevalent as of late. Because of the 10th anniversary event, of course I'm gonna mess around with that and see what happens. The Golden Piggy Bank event is back. The Cash Blaster's back. There's a whole bunch of more maps that are compatible with the Piggy Bank event, so of course I'm gonna be dipping my toes into that and see how dealing with that goes. But also, because this may well be the last official update we ever get for the game, there's going to be a couple of weapons that are available. There's the musket that, you know, that's been very requested apparently. It's been requested for years and years now. It's finally arrived. I took a look at the stats when I was fiddling about, and oh my goodness, it is a monstrous thing on the surface. It has a painfully long reload. Like, don't get me wrong, it's only one shot and painfully long reload, but its damage, it puts the Thanatos to shame. 10,000 damage. It does the same as an RPG shot. So, can't wait to get my hands on that. Can't wait to contribute to the stretch goals for all of the other unlocks. There's a Golden Piggy Hammer, and I definitely want to get that. As far as other things for Payday 2 goes, I'm going to be doing some more Smash character runs for Crime Spree. I've got one idea in the pipeline, which I'm going to be acting on very soon. So look forward to that. And it's also going to be a fairly modded run, too. So there's going to be a couple of mods. We'll see how the modded Crime Spree run goes. Because if it goes particularly well, I do have one particular idea after that that I think would be very good for the format, because it's going to be silly, unconventional, but a lot of fun. At least in theory, at least. At least. So, you know, look forward to those. I look forward to messing about with the musket and the piggy hammer and all the other things that the 10th anniversary event has to offer. On the subject of Payday, I'm not going to be doing anything for Payday 3, at least for the time being. You know, as much as I deem it my most anticipated game for this year, there's quite a lot of uncertainties going around. You know, all the online stuff, the de novo. It's a bit of a mess, if I'm being completely real here. So, I'm not going to cast any surefire opinions on it for now until I see how it handles, you know, come September. So, not going to really dwell on it too much. Just assume that if things go well, then great. Then we'll see how it goes. There's no other way of seeing how it'll go because I tried getting into the closed beta and I sadly wasn't allowed in. Which is a bit of a pity, but, you know, you can't win them all. I would have liked to have at least had a bit of a hands-on. Would have been able to provide some opinions on it, since I would have had some tangible experience, but whatever. If another beta comes for that, then I'll be all over it and give my thoughts and opinions then. But for now, Payday 3 is going to be a bit of a back burner thing. You know, just until we see some more news and how it's meant to handle behind the scenes, and whether or not some of the less savory stuff gets removed or altered. Who knows? That's enough of Payday for the time being. In terms of stuff that I've not done yet, but will be planning to, I do plan on doing a 6th run for the Goes to Canada series. You know, that's been a quirky but fun romp. What did I do them as? I did Pokemon Trainer, I did Sephiroth, Pyra, Donkey Kong, and the most recent one from this year was Daisy. So, I'm curious on how the next one is going to fare and who I even send on the death road. Then, as far as other things go, there's Hades. I know I mentioned that at the start of the year, or at least in the Best of 2022 video. It was one of the 3 main projects that I was going to add as a new thing. I'm going to be starting on that fairly soon, because I feel like of the 3 that I brought along, it's probably going to be the longest. Like, I don't have any prerequisite idea of how long Hades is, as an outsider, to be completely real here. But, you know, that's just how it is. So I'm going to be starting on that relatively soon, so look forward to that. You get to see me bumble around and die a lot. You know, fun stuff. Then there's the DLC, The Delicious Last Course for Cuphead. I'm going to be starting on that relatively soon as well. I don't know how long that's going to be and what's going to be required of that, but I'm gonna enjoy that one, I feel. I have been practicing for Cuphead, at least partially, so hopefully I won't have as big a fail fest as last time, despite being mostly blind as per the normal run. And I'll try to show off as much as I can for that and for Hades, because I don't think I'm gonna be 100%ing Hades, mainly due to my inexperience. Unless, of course, it's relatively straightforward to do so, in which case I might give it a go. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I don't have any real ideas as of now. There's also No Straight Roads Encore Edition. I definitely want to get on that relatively soon as well. Because, you know, I've used the I use the music for that in my videos way too much, but the OST slaps, and I figured I might as well play through that game since it's on Steam now, and because, you know, I would have wanted to play it if it weren't for the fact that I couldn't feasibly access it, but the Encore Edition changed that, so you better believe that I'm going to go ahead and do that at some point in the future. There's also Monkey Ball. I didn't actually have that on the agenda, you know, as a general structure, but there's more Monkey Ball content coming. I might do some more montages. I might also give some more speedruns a try. There are a couple of ones that I have in mind, so look forward to that. And, yeah. I think I'm gonna enjoy myself trying to set a few more milestones a few more times, especially compared to other people. And we'll see how much I grow as and when they happen. Alright, as far as Amiibo go, though, there are 3 more that will be going on after Pyra. I even have the candidates to my right on my desk. I have the next one and the last one more or less locked in. The penultimate one is going to be a bit of a toss-up. Will depend on my mood and what I feel like, but I think it'll be well received either way, so look forward to those. I know this one was a bit staggered, so it might be a little bit before we see the next one. Maybe like the 10th or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Basically, as long as we get it done before the end of December, we'll be okay. As far as the tournament goes, we have a new qualifying format even. I'm tripping over a lot of my words today. Let me pull up my document and see how I'm actually doing things this year. It's around here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So, because Mandolin and Taskmaster have already qualified, there are 46 fighters that are going to be in contention, and only, how many slots is it? There will be 30 slots, and I figured the format of this is going to be a little bit cleaner compared to the last one, where it was just a whole bunch of group stages and all that. And, you know, as good as it was, as much of a dramatic finish it turned out to be in some stages, it dragged on a bit, and I'm not going to be doing that again. So, in terms of this one, I'm going to have 23 fights to determine who qualifies first, and then from there, it's like, oh, we have 23 more qualifiers, and then, lo and behold, there's only 7 slots left and 23 fighters to fill up the void. And from there, we'll be having a few free-for-alls with the remaining ones, split up into groups of 3 or 4, depending on who's left. And hopefully that is a little bit more concise and a little bit more consistent compared to, you know, all the other ones. Compared to last year's qualifying, at least. So, yeah. I don't know how it's going to all pan out in terms of structure and length and all that, but we'll see. We'll see. As far as unplanned stuff goes, I have a lot of unplanned things, like, it is unreal. I'll probably find some way to incorporate them into the schedule, see what works and what doesn't, and maybe if things fall nicely enough, I might be able to sneak in another playthrough into the rest of the year. I already have a few things in mind for that, but, you know, for the most part, just consider that as the itinerary for the remaining few months of the year. I mean, like, it's already August, close to September, and it's like, wow. This year has flown by, honestly. I suppose it didn't help that I started in February as opposed to January, so whoops. But, you know, we're able to bounce back. We can handle this sort of workload. Should be alright. So, that should be everything, right? We got the Twitter activity, Tomo Mastodon, the Discord, World of Life with Nuzlocke, Data States, Cordelia, TF2, Mario Party 2, Quick Play Checklist 4, Payday 2, Payday 3, Ghost of Canada 6, Hades, Cuphead, Delicious Last Course, NSR, Amiibo, Tournament, and unplanned stuff. Yep, we are completely ready. At least I think so. Let me do a quick check. Yeah, I think we're good for the most part. So, now I'm gonna be going through all of the comments and all of the questions that were left on the Bayonetta video, because there are a fair few that I want to answer. I'm going to be glossing over the whole, you know, what are you going to do with viewers and if there's going to be, you know, viewer events, because the Discord server is going to be the main sort of pull for that, because that's where events with viewers are going to be for the most part. But, you know, we'll cross those bridges as and when we get to them, but for now, just assume that that's the go when it comes to events. So, you know, if you jump in there and just wait on invites, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to looking at some of these questions and answering them, shall we? Alright, let's see here. MLL456 asks, what has been your favorite amiibo to train so far, and give an explanation as to why they are your favorite? That's a good one, honestly. Let's check some of the amiibo that I have on deck. I surprisingly enjoyed the Sephiroth one. The Captain Falcon one was also really good. I liked that one. But I think, in all honesty, when it comes to, you know, everything that happens with amiibo training and who ends up being my favored one, let me take a look in the backlog and see if I can find them. Because Kirby was very interesting as well, being the way it was. But if I take a look all the way back, going back in time to 2022 and 2021, honestly, I'd say it would be the... I don't know, to be honest. Like, they've all had their moments. I think, honestly, I'd say Mr. T, honestly, the Cuphead Meep Gunner, if only just for what he ended up being after the fact. Because he was ridiculous since then. And, yeah, he became one of my most iconic amiibo for that very reason, because of the fact that he was just flat out insane and parrying everything. Who knows, he might get his time to shine in the tournament. Don't really know. Alright, let's take a look at what else we got. Exotic7 asks, seeing as Pyra is the first characters you drop off the roster, is there a single character you'd prefer not to do a training video of? Or have you thought about getting all 86 or so under your belt in the very long term? Look, as far as the whole amiibo thing goes, until things are pretty unsustainable, I do plan on getting as many done as I can. So, you know, if I'm gonna try my best to get through as many as I can for the most part. If I determine that, you know, I can't really do amiibo things anymore, that I've taken the format as far as it's gone, then I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know that it's just not gonna continue. It's also partially why, you know, I don't see myself as the amiibo guy or the Smash guy, because as much as they're my main pulls on this channel, and I'm well aware of that, it's not likely that they're going to last forever, at least not until the next Smash game or whenever that's going to be. So, you know, that's why I do a lot of different things on this channel, because I don't want to squirrel myself into one singular gimmick. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I want to be a bit of a variety content creator and just dip my toes into as many different things as I can to keep things varied, spice things up here and there, and, you know, keep things fresh. I'm well aware of the fact that my Amiibo videos are the only ones that really gain any traction, but I do hope that, you know, with the pull of new content and more varied content going forward, that things might change in the future. But for now, I'm gonna try my best to get through as many of them as I can, because what's the current count at? Let's take a look at the counter. I have an entire, like, text file just dedicated to this sort of thing. So it's like, the current count is at 48. And, you know, that's more or less halfway through, isn't it? So, you know, it's still good for a little while at least, but I don't know if it's going to actually reach the point where it's like, oh, everyone's here, ha 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 ha. Especially since we don't know if Sora's getting an Amiibo. Because God knows the legal matter behind that decision. I don't know, we'll see how that goes, but for now, just assume that it's just going to carry on as normal, and I'll provide updates for everything that happens because of it. GWatt0, GWatt question mark asks, do you plan to train an Amiibo of every character? I pretty much went through most of that in the previous question, actually. For now, I do plan on training as many as I can get my hands on. So, for the most part, it's gonna be fairly routine. I don't know if I'll actually be able to train an Amiibo of every character, I'll admit that much, but, you know, we'll give it a go. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, because of course, Mr. D asks, who is your favorite fan and why is it me, Mr. D? Well, asking who my favorite fan is implies that I play favorites when it comes to the people that support me, and I don't play favorites in that regard. There are people who appear on the channel regularly, don't get me wrong, but as far as the people who support me goes, the people who allow me to keep doing the things that I'm doing, I don't play favorites in that regard. That's just not the way I do business. I feel like it would be pretty wrong of me to do so. Let's see what else we have. DD Delightful / Scrub King asks, when is the Shovel Knight playthrough? So, for context, you know, besides the fact that I haven't played Shovel Knight, it's on my increasingly long bucket list of games to play. I have been part of streams with friends who have been playing Shovel Knight. A friend of mine, Joe, has been playing Shovel Knight, and whenever I show up to those, my main gimmick is that I just put on some pretty stupid voices for the members of the Order of No Quarter. And that's it, really. So, if you ever want me to do a Shovel Knight playthrough on the channel, you have to take it with that in mind. Like, that's the caveat with me playing Shovel Knight for the channel. I don't know if it will be ever done. I don't know if it'll ever come to fruition. That I'd have to see demand for it, honestly. So, if you want to see me Shovel Knight it up, then feel free to let me know, and I'll consider it. But for now, I don't have any immediate plans to add Shovel Knight to the itinerary. Smash154 asks, will you do Young Link and Toon Link Amiibo as well? Man, I really shouldn't be surprised that I'm getting so many Amiibo-related questions. I guess I really do that to myself. So, yeah, it's pretty much the same as I've said over and over before. if there is an amiibo that I haven't done, it's like, hey, you haven't done Yoshi yet. Will you do the Yoshi amiibo at some point? Assume that the answer is eventually, unless I say otherwise. Because it's like, I'll do what I can in terms of providing as many as I can, to an extent. I obviously don't know what that extent will be, because we haven't really seen the limit of where it's going to end. But we'll see. Until then, just assume that it's going to be done eventually. Like, I'll get through as many fighters as I can. If you want me to bump up priority for certain amiibo, there is the yearly tournament user form that I do, where I gauge, you know, which amiibo are popular, which ones are not so popular from each generation, how you're finding the format of everything, and also which ones you'd like to see in the future. And, you know, I used that to influence who goes first in the following generations. Like with how Captain Falcon and Sephiroth were among the top voted for the 2022 user form, so they were two of the first from that one. So when that comes around after the qualifying thing is all wrapped up, feel free to make your opinions heard, but we'll cross that when we get to it. And Ciano, Cyanopsia, well, whatever it's pronounced as, asks, how do you feel about the Stevel video becoming your most popular considering your hatred for Steve in Smash? So, if I go to the analytics, the Steve Amiibo video is at 29,500 views, which is leaps and bounds over everything else I put out. Like, even the second most viewed, which is the Kirby Amiibo, strangely enough, that one only sits at 7,700. So, you know, the Steve video is going to be my most popular video until I hit gold in another strange and wacky way. And, you know, for the most part, I can understand why, because I might not be much of a Minecraft person, I might not be much of a Steve person as far as Smash goes, far from it. But I can understand its appeal, you know, to other people. Like, I can see why other people would like it, why they'd like Minecraft, or Steve in Smash, or whatever it is. I can see the appeal. And especially with the discourse around banning Steve in, you know, Ultimate Tournaments, I feel like that also contributed to that to an extent. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just the perfect storm of things just coming together, because for the most part it was just like any other video of mine. Like, it stayed relatively mundane for about half a year after it released, and then it was only after that that it started climbing up exponentially and became like one of my breadwinners, so to speak. So yeah, I think the main takeaway from it is that I might not be the person for Minecraft or for Steve, but that doesn't mean that no one else is. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Anyway, I think that just about does it for, you know, all the updates, all the things that I've got going on in the pipeline and beyond. And hopefully you're better informed going into the last few months of 2023. So I'll hand it back to Pyra Video Matt, and we'll close this video out with the level 50 Pyra amiibo, shall we?
Power the Aegis.
Unflappable, hey? That's certainly a new one for my amiibo at any rate. But now it's time to see what they're really like now that they've reached their full potential. You know what that means. Alright. Level 50, all jacked up. And because learning's off, I can approach however I want. Ow. Neutral has been achieved. I'm dead. Yeah, that's just destruction. Oh no. Okay. Oh my god. And that just does 59, hey. Technically, that didn't even hit all the way, so that could have done a lot more, too. Ow! Edge guarding has been achieved. Alright. I'm soon to be 2 whole stocks down, but this is salvageable. God, their parry game is kind of strong. Wow. It's the customary best of 3 with the main. See how well they actually do. She really just did 69% with side B, huh?
Nice!
But I'm a thick boy, I can tank everything this thing throws at me. And if my timing is right, haha! I can even use the power of the side B against her. This is where I can truly come into my own. That's okay. I was doing kind of well. So, you know, I'll let that slide. What? That didn't count as a projectile? Okay, at least I get the dodge read to make up for the fact. Ow. Despite what I'm making it seem like, this is very winnable. She's a bit slippery-dippery. Aw, you. Okay. Let's just try and get... Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm fighting evenly with this thing, though, and that's very encouraging. Oh, that's death. First time they've actually taken the lead. There we go. You know what? That gives me an idea. Whoa, that was close. No! Come on, man. Look, as much as that game suggested otherwise, I can fight evenly with this thing. I just need to fight smarter, not harder. Oh, what was that? Don't know if the recording picked that up, but that was a bit of a jitter. Oh, that was close. Out you go. What? Come on, man. The fucking side B makes no sense. Is it a projectile or is it not? Make up your goddamn mind. These unflappable Amiibo are something else, man. Oh my god, you're kidding me. God, even when I jump over it, I still get hit. Because K-Roll is just that thick. What? Come on, the fucking cheater mechanic. No, I'm not satisfied. If these 2 clowns want to play rough, I'll play rough. Alright, K-Rato, show these 2 who's actually the boss. I said show them who's actually the boss. And by that, I mean get a single hit in, please. There we go. Don't contest K. Rool down smash. Yep, that's gonna be death. Oh! You can't cut that gut. Alright, it was just taking him a while to get started, but... You know, he's here now. He's all warmed up. He's going to town on them. What? So, he reflected the sword and it counted as a physical hit. These two characters are stupid. Alright, that's fine. Just don't let it run away from you. He's doing fine. Oh, there he goes. I was about to say he wasn't doing kill moves, which was concerning me. But he got there in the end. Oh! That's what I like to see. And with that, I think we'll call it a day for these Amiibo training sessions. You know, I just didn't want to end it on such a dismal note. I just wanted some self-satisfaction. That's gonna leave it off for today. Goodness knows what I'm planning on doing next, but I do have a few options to choose from, so throw us a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on whichever one I do next. Take care now.